While acknowledging that schools were bound to reopen at one point or another, former Education Minister Nicolette Henry at the same time called on government to heighten the current measures and institute more systems before learners re-enter schools. This comes after Education Minister Priya Manikchand's announcement that schools nationwide were given the green light to fully reopen after Easter holidays. However, Minister Manikchand made it clear that the safe reopening of schools is heavily dependent on the inoculation of the population during the month of March. Speaking to Nightly News recently, the Shadow Minister for Education, Nicolette Henry, stated that with the possible reopening starting in a matter of weeks, there has not been enough preparatory work coming from the ministry's end.
What we haven't seen would be the accompanying measures. So you open school, but under what circumstances, And so when we have an understanding of that, then it will be much more prudent to provide suggestions and or recommendations. But at this point in time, it would appear as though that is not well thought out on the part of the ministry.
She stated that unless the requisite systems are put in place immediately, the nation's educators and learners will be put at a great risk.
In order to fill a void, people just go out there and they blah, 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 blah. But the education sector is one of the sectors where you usually begin with the end in mind, the outcome. What is it that you want out of this? Is it that we want our students to be exposed to safe environments so they can be optimal learning? Is it we just want to say that we're doing something? If those are not clear, then we're definitely going to get ourselves into murky water.
MP Henry stated that the coalition widely supports a blended approach.
And one of the things, of course, that we had supported in a large way was blended learning. In some instances where they have to do labs and SBAs and so forth, they're going to be face-to-face opportunities.
When questioned about the need for teachers to be vaccinated, Henry stated that with their possible return to the classrooms, it is crucial that they are eligible to receive the vaccine. Just last Sunday, moments after receiving India's donation of 80,000 vaccines, Prime Minister Mark Phillips stated that teachers, along with members of the joint services, are next in line to be vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus. In a previous interview with this newscast, President of the Guyana Teachers Union, Mark Light, welcomed the reopening of schools. However, he continued his call for a phased approach for the reopening.
If ever we get to that point, probably starting with grade 6 and not necessarily reopening for all the levels. But we are still to engage the ministry on what will be done.
According to new data released by UNICEF, schools for more than 168 million children globally have been completely closed for almost an entire year due to the COVID-19 lockdowns. 1 in 7 children globally have missed more than 3/4 of their in-person learning. For the HGP Nightly News, Amel Griffith.